Welcome to Whahahappen, the podcast where we talk about our latest chismes,
or gossip for you non-Spanish speaking folks,
crazy travel stories, hood memoirs, and food and wine.
This is an adult podcast,
so some of our topics may make our listeners a wee bit uncomfortable.
Listener discretion is advised.
And if you're of legal drinking age,
grab a glass of wine
or a beverage of your choice and enjoy the show. Hi everyone, welcome to Whahahappen, another episode. This is Lala.
And this is Rich Mo. And today we have a couple of friends of ours. Lala, would you introduce them?
So we have my best friend. You want to introduce yourself, best friend?
Hi, I'm Mari.
And then we also have
Jose Velasquez.
Yes, and the reason why we invited them is because, well, on the podcast, is because Rich found a cat, and he was asking me all kinds of questions about like getting, the cat spayed, neutered, or whatever, and then getting also like vaccinations. And so I was just like, oh, here, let me contact, because Mari and Jose, this is like kind of something that they do, and they're really passionate about it. And they kind of do like a trap and release program. You trap the cat, you take it to get spayed and neutered. And this is like within the city of LA, because each region has different ordinances and stuff. But so that we're speaking for the city of LA, not LA County. That's different. But anyway, we just thought that maybe we would do just like a little tiny PSA of like where to get resources, how to go about it, how to look things up, blah, 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 blah. What can you do, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I'm going to let you guys take it away.
I'm going to go ahead and start it off by saying thank you for having us and for wanting your audience to kind of learn how to handle the cat community in their own environment, in their own areas. We are not necessarily a trap and release. We just help the community cats in our neighborhood of East Hollywood. And that's what we mostly do, is just help any cat that has been abandoned in our, what's called the Virgil Triangle in East Hollywood.
Okay. Well, and the reason I say like the trap and release is because when I worked for the city of LA, that's what we called it generally. Mm-hmm. But thank you for clarifying. And then this is just, I think, we all would appreciate if everybody just pitched in, like how you guys, and I'm really seriously like, you guys are so dedicated, and just to go about and do this out of your own time. And so I just kind of want you guys to share, and that it's not that hard and people can do it. And, maybe you guys have some resources and where to start, or like, somebody like Rich just found a cat, Rich Mo, and he was like, well, how do I go about this? And I'm like, oh, here, talk to Mari and talk to Jose.
Yeah. I got a question. Yeah, most people, like, the kitty that I found actually walked up to me. So it was like, it's already been on the streets. It's like street smart and stuff like that. But I know a lot of people have a tendency. Sometimes you'll find a litter of cats. And I guess I kind of want to start off with that. Jose, if I am walking down the street and I hear meowing, and oh my stars, there's a bunch of little kitties with no mom. What do I do? Do I pick up those cats? Like, because I think a lot of people have a tendency to kind of want to save those kitties because they don't see the mom there, and then they'll pick up the kitties, like little kittens.
See Mari shaking her head already.
Yeah,
she has something to say.
Scenario number one.
You generally don't want to do that because the mom probably went to go get something to eat, and has the tendency of female cats do is they stash their cats, and then they can't be feeding them all the time. They're outdoor cats, so they have to hide them and go and get food for themselves. So generally you want to keep track if there's a mom coming in and out, and you want to do this over a couple of days before you start to intervene. So yeah, it's important that you don't do that because then you take them to the shelter and then they get put to sleep.
Yeah,
So-
it takes patience for sure.
Yeah.
Regardless if you see a cat in the street or if you already took a cat in, you have to be very patient. If you see a mom with the litter or a litter without the mom, like Lala said, definitely wait to see if the mom comes back. But do we really have the time? Does anyone really have the time to sit there and wait to see if the mom cat's gonna come back? What I would do, and I would call Mari. I'd be like, Mari, what should I do? There's some little kittens here. I don't know if I should take them or not. And just wait. But yeah, if they are abandoned, definitely take them in. What we generally do is take them to the vet, see if they have any respiratory illness or fleas, and bottle feed them. Kind of got to take it on yourself to take care of them in the beginning until you can really start looking for resources to get them spayed or neutered, because you have to wait at least 3 months is recommended before you get them spayed or neutered. So within that time, you have to use your own resources to just take care of them and have time and patience
So
to
it's
deal with it.
safe to say then the first step would be immediately to go to the vet and then determine how old these kittens are, because then I guess that would determine the type of food that you would feed them. A lot of people think that you can feed them cow milk and it causes massive diarrhea in the cats and they cannot process this. So that is totally inaccurate information. Cats should not be drinking cow milk ever. Ever.
No, you think that's-
never. No,
It's
we don't
always the
think-
first thing
we
you
don't
see in a
think
movie
this
or
is-
something.
these
You
are
always
facts.
like think
Yeah.
that you can give a cat milk. Like,
It's like people got to remember Hollywood is smoke screens and mirrors. It's not reality. So don't give them another animal's milk.
Yeah.
I mean,
So there's special formula, and you can go to any pet store and purchase kitten milk, which will give them the actual nutritious milk that they need. Like I said, I guess step one would be starting off with taking the cats to the vet. Once you determine that maybe the cats are abandoned, and then to figure out what is the age and then the appropriate nutrition and care, because also in addition to that, unweaned kittens, you have to help them poop and pee.
wait
as
a
well.
second. So how do we know what how the cat is, if they're like, obviously if they're weaning or if they're like attached
go to the vet.
mom, you go to the vet.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of tell
That's
you.
why I said that's step number one is probably go to the vet and then determine. Unless you have some more experience, but if you're just not an experienced person, my suggestion would be to go to a vet, because then they can give you the proper instructions on how to take care of this cat successfully.
I have to take it a step back, because you guys are moving on and talking about taking a kitten to the vet and all that, but you don't always have to separate the mother from the kittens. A lot of some rescuers out there that I follow, they bring the babies and then they go back for the mama. Because the mama will always go back looking for their kittens.
Yes.
If you don't want to take them and separate them, an idea is to like put them in a box so the mom can come back to them and she could get more comfortable with that safe space you have created for the cat.
Yes. Okay.
You don't need to separate them, and then if you have a space, you can open your house like I have done in the past. I brought the mama and her 2 kittens into the house, but I brought them together.
That's brilliant.
Because somebody removed her kittens and she was one of my yard cats. And I hadn't seen her in a couple of days. And when I saw her, I asked her, where are your babies? Where are your babies? Because I knew she was pregnant and then she looked skinny. And she was meowing at me from underneath the house, like trying to tell me something. And so I knew she had her kittens. I just didn't know where.
Got it.
And then my neighbor's daughter found them and removed them out of their place. But they always bring me any cat they find. They bring them to us. They bring them to me. And that's what they did. They called me, and I knew it was her kittens. I put them in a box. I took the box and approached the mama, and the mama right away got into the box with her kittens.
So it's safe to say that rather than taking or removing the cats from their space, it's okay to kind of create or take a box, put a towel or something so that they can actually put them in there and just leave it in leave the cats in the same area. Don't remove them, but you can create like a little home, like a little shelter for them.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. So that's the reason why I kind of wanted you guys to come on, because I mean, you guys do this constantly, and so I guess like when you do something over and over again, you kind of develop like a ritual, like okay, first this is step one, so this is what I'm saying. Like that's what I wanted you guys. So thank you for So maybe create like a safe environment within wherever it is that you find the kittens, and then go from there, right?
But don't take the cats out.
Don't.
And don't remove the cats, because even though they're by themselves, they look vulnerable. Well, guess what? Would you say that that's the life of a cat? I mean, they're wild, right? They're essentially in Los Angeles, cats are wild, right? So
They're feral.
They're considered free roaming animals.
So hey, they're doing their thing. If you find them in a location,
They keep the rodent population completely down. I don't have not one rodent in my house, and I live in a building where we have mice in the walls, and we have 0 mice now. We don't hear the scratching at the walls anymore because my outdoor cats that I take care of brought one by one to me as gifts.
And there you go. You can have cute little dead mice gifts.
And that's why the Egyptians had them.
have a
exactly.
have a cat friend, and you won't have to have pay for mouse traps.
Or bugs. They
Like
eat all the
a
bugs.
rat just ran into your house the other day, right?
I saw a rat run into my house
like 2 days
from the
ago.
outside, the side of the.
Wow.
Well,
Burn it inside.
I had dog food at a certain point. For those of you who don't or do know, my dog passed away like last week, but I don't have any more dog food around. But I know that they're probably looking for dog food, and so it probably ran in the house going like, hey, if
All or nothing.
the food's around here somewhere, right? But I would imagine if I had a cat that I might not have that problem.
At all.
And they're so easy to take care of. So, you just clean the litter, give them food. That's it. They get attention when they want it, and that's fine.
And water, fresh water.
I mean, so I could say it's just like, when you have a dog, you're the master, and the dog's like, oh, that's my guy, right? But when you have a cat, it's the other way around. I'm actually serving the cat. Like, cat's actually training me, and
they act like they too. They show it.
I see.
I mean, they've learned from our offsprings. All they have to do is cry, and they will get the attention. That's why cats cry. They
Yeah.
sound like babies
Yep.
because they imitate infants.
So evolution, what she's talking about is evolutionary. A cat has learned to mimic the sound of a baby, a human baby, in order for us to have that instinct to want to go rescue it. Like, evolutionary? Dude, that shit is fucking wild.
Cats are gonna take over.
Yeah.
Cat.
It's a
So-
cat world. We just live in it.
Wow. I mean,
Indeed.
cats are. I've always been around cats, but I've sensed as I got older, I got sometimes I get an allergic reaction to some cats. Sometimes I don't. What do you say? What do you do? You just take. I mean, I've taken antihistamine and I'm fine, but some cats are worse than others. I've walked into homes where they have big furry cats, like they're just fluff balls. They look cool and stuff. But I'm like,
Those Persian cats.
I was just going to say, I'm like, oh, it must be the
my eyes start
Persians
to
or the
water, and I'm like,
Himalayan.
what's going on? What is the general
Maya
way that?
has allergic reactions, but she just exposes herself to them more.
Well, I mean, you build a tolerance, or do you take antihistamines, or?
Well, with my cats, luckily the majority of them are short hair. When you have allergies, of course, you don't want to go and adopt a long hair cat. That's a big mistake. You want to have a short hair cat that only needs like specific type of heavy grooming during the seasons where they're shedding their fur. Other than that, having a short hair cat, it's like reduces the amount of hair and dander that gets spread. Because it's the dander that people are allergic to. Is not the cat, but it's that kind of that
The skin flake.
the skin flake mixed with dust. Because I'm allergic to dust.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're giant dusters. They're giant dusters. They lay on the floor. They lay on, your windows. They wipe everything clean with their bodies, and then they come to you, and it's like, I'm asthmatic and have allergies.
Yeah.
I never thought of cats as dusters, but that is a very good description of a cat.
They do.
They just pick up a lot of dust.
But then they bring everything to your bed. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you how do you groom do you brush the cat like you would brush a dog, kind of?
Yeah, you brush cats. We also they sell cat wipes. It's like a baby wipe, but for a cat, and just
for the hair?
Yeah, 'cause sometimes they sneak outside and they roll in the dirt.
Yeah.
And just to get it off, you use that baby wipe. I mean, you could use a normal baby wipe to clean them off. Another thing we do is we put a sheet over our bed, so all the little dirt and litter that gets stuck to them, like when you go to sleep, you just take off that sheet. So just a lot
so
of
you have a
adjustments.
layer of blankets so that to kind of separate you.
For your pillows.
Oh, yes.
You definitely don't want your cats to lay on top of your pillows because they touch the litter box with their feet, and that's feces and urine, and
And that's
then
probably not a good idea.
then you
get
get
pink eye.
Pink eye.
I've gotten
Horse
pink eye
thighs.
for. I think
wow,
because of that.
from the cat.
I
think
think
because of that.
maybe you're just like very
My eyes are sensitive.
Yeah, I'm like, you have sensitive eyes. But I cover. So normally I just pile all my pillows and then just throw a blanket over it. But also, I don't think my eyesight are that sensitive.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm.
So
Very
actually, Jose is the person who has been taking care of my furry baby, and so he's the one that, because I've been working in Alaska, and so I'm gone for weeks and weeks, and so unfortunately, that's my kitty.
Well, I want to get back to so we kind of gotten over finding small cats and things and not taking the cats out, but the cat that I actually found just kind of walked up to me on my yard, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I was petting a kitty, and then she kept coming back, and I realized, well, she's very friendly, but she lives on the street, but because I was petting her, I was like, oh, she has got fleas and things, but I started to feed the cat. I was feeding her dog food, but she was fine with it. I gave her water. She was fine with it. And then later, I gave her chicken.
Oh, nice.
Steak.
That's a treat.
Whatever, shrimp. I mean, I don't know what I shouldn't have fed the cat, but she seemed to, she didn't like it. She wouldn't eat it. Try to give her a banana, she would eat the banana. But, I mean, I don't know. But what do you do, if you do befriend a cat that's on the street, in your neighborhood, and you put food out, are there things you shouldn't be giving the cat? Obviously, we don't want to give the cat milk. We talked about that. But are there any things that cat, if you're feeding a cat, an outside cat, or do you not want to do that? I mean,
She's the food expert.
Okay.
I do the litters.
I almost feel I like the idea of having a cat, but outside and not really taking the responsibility.
Okay. You said this cat was friendly.
Yeah.
Hence the word friendly. That means he's been associated with humans, so most likely he has a home, and he's an indoor-outdoor cat.
Yeah.
Don't ever assume that a cat is homeless, because they could have up to 3 homes
Yeah,
if they
dude.
feel like it in one neighborhood.
They can have up to 3 homes or 4 homes.
Yes, one of the cats that we helped in our
That's so funny.
neighborhood, We called him Garfield, and little did we know that his parent and his mama lived 2 doors down from us, and his name was Peanut.
Kind of like my Abradolf.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
he would actually hang out. I was in Monterey Park at that time, but he hung out in the house behind us. So that was his second home. And then he went across the street with this elderly old lady who fed all the cats. So yeah, he had like 3 homes.
Yeah.
Wow.
A cat will show you like, oh, but the times you gotta worry is when you see like mucus around their face, them looking horribly skinny,
Yeah.
missing patches of fur. That's when you know, like, oh, for sure this animal needs help. Or
Yeah.
cats
Or
tend
like-
to ask you for help. They will meow and meow and meow
Yeah.
at you because they're trying to tell you something.
And then even the quality of the fur, like, when a cat is well fed, it's even glossy, and so.
Yeah.
A nice sheen on the cat fur. Yeah, I gotta say, like the neighbor across the street, because that little kitty would run across the street back and forth, and then she gave the cat like a bath, flea bath, and then she put like some, I don't know, like oat shampoo. I don't know. She just really, and she brought the cat back to me in a towel, and she's like, "Here you go. I can't have her here, but you can." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take the cat."
I was like, wow, that
Wow.
was very
Yeah, no, it's
generous of her.
yeah. I was like, okay. I mean, but and the cat was all wet and the thing, and I'm like, I guess she didn't mind, But still, she still wanted to go outside, no matter what. After she's dried up, and I kept her in the house for a little bit. It's like she's like looking out the door, like, I want to go out.
Yeah,
Everybody
she needs
has
to
their
go in
own.
now.
So what is it like? I know maybe it's kind of selfish in a way to want a cat, but not want a cat to live inside, or for those folks who have like a neighborhood cat, like it's okay to feed the cat water, or like put water out for them and food every now and then, right? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you don't want to put out food for the ants and things like that, but
Yeah, you have to consider the wildlife that lives around you. If you don't want, you have to avoid raccoons. What are the other ones? Opossums also come down for the water and the food. So it's like,
Yeah, they could all share, but you gotta keep that in mind. They'll get more than cats.
yeah. Honestly, I would think like maybe keep it out during the day and at night bring it in
Ah,
to avoid
interesting.
the nocturnal animals.
and cats are nocturnal animals, right? So they're doing most of their
Not mine.
well, I mean,
Kind of.
Are
I
they,
think
or-
they're considered diurnal, I think.
I mean,
They just nap
could
all
sleep
day.
up to 20 something.
20 hours.
Yeah, 20 hours, 23 hours a day. They can do most of the day
Hashtag
sleeping.
Lala's goals.
sleep 20 hours a day and then
Yes.
play, keep you up for the.
But I want to address the question you asked, like, oh, you like about feeding them. One thing you got to ask yourself before you bring an animal to your house is, do I have another pet? Do you have dogs? Do you have another cat? You have to make sure you keep that animal you bring into your house quarantined
Oh,
for up to 7 days away from your animals, because they might have some kind of upper respiratory
Yeah, communicable
infection
disease.
that will transfer to all your animals.
well, what about to humans?
And even, no, not to humans, but to your other animals. And also, what
I
is
mean,
that?
unless it's ringworm.
What's that? No, also that feline
Yeah,
immune.
FIV.
That one.
If-
And that one's contagious, and you don't want to put your
Yeah.
animals near an animal that has that.
It's a feline immunodeficiency, something like that. It's kind of like
Virus?
the HIV of the
Of
feline.
cats, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So you never want to
HIV
expose
of
your
cats.
FIV.
Yeah.
And then the other one that you get from that actually it's communicable to humans from the litters and stuff like that, but they can be carrying also that, oh my God, ¿cómo se llama? Like toxoplasmosis.
Apotykes. Yes, somebody said that to me. They're gonna give you this.
I've never heard that.
No, it's just that's why she like how she's mentioning do a quarantine
You
phase.
have to quarantine them.
Yeah.
Any animal you bring into your house that's coming from the outside, because you might bring harm to your other animals, and you don't want that.
Definitely not. You want to take care of your pets.
Yeah, I think that's more of a like it's along the same as important question as what can you feed an animal you're bringing in.
Right. And, how long...
Definitely not any kind of diseases.
Well, say you do get friendly with your cat. How, because they say you need to spay or neuter your cat if you have a cat. And if you have a street cat or outside cat that you do feed, do you want to take them in? I mean, to kind of what do you do?
Okay, I think Jose can answer the difference between a feral and a stray cat because there's differences, and you got to know what you're dealing with.
Well, either or, you still gotta, if you want to spay or neuter, you do have to trap them. Like with Peanut or Garfield. When we got him, we didn't know he had an owner in the beginning, so we're like, how are we gonna trap him? Looked online, everything's online. Saw some videos. You can just get any box, but as long as you can cover it so that it's dark once you cover them, and that way they don't feel as scared. Grab them. If it's a feral cat, you have to be a bit more wary because those are not used to humans. They kind of stay away from humans. They're more the wild ones, whereas stray cats are more that are a part of the community. They're not typically too scared of humans. Like they walk up to you, but just like you said, the other cat came up and then left. Because I have somewhere else to go. So those are more like the stray cats. So with Peanut, we grabbed him, had him in the cage, covered it. We still had to take care of him after we took him to the vet. But luckily, we had already met the parents, so then we gave it to them and okay, just watch him for I think it was 2 days or something, because they leave the wound open. They don't close it up on boys, which I thought was strange. But they're doing a expensive service for almost free, and there's a long line of people that want to do it. So I guess that maybe saves time, and then you just, as long as you watch them, it heals on its own.
Did they glue together, or
he said that they left it open.
Stays open because they just do a clean snip. On
yeah,
the
but
huevos.
normally they apply the
like a glue or something.
Yeah, it's like a surgery glue that you just
Probably
Liquid glue.
yeah.
Wait a second. Oh, okay. But so you're feeding the cat, for instance, the kitty that I was feeding, she's been absent for the last few days, but let's just say she comes back and she's getting bigger and it feels like maybe she's a couple months, 3-4 months down the line. I don't want more kitties around, right? So I would have to trap her and or put her in a cage and then take her for the service.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure in this city, but I know for the city of LA, you do have to trap the cat, and you do have to bring it in yourself. Because animal control will not do that, because at least within the city of LA, they're considered a free roaming animal, and so it's not like a dog. A dog is not. A dog is considered property, where a cat, it's free roaming in the city. So it's differentiations, and so yeah, unfortunately, but I'm not sure here in your city, but yeah, normally you would have to trap them and then take them to the vet, and then take care of them.
According to the groups I follow on Instagram, they, before they start removing any cats or doing anything, they first post on the trees, the light posts, they need to inquire if this is anyone's cat.
Yeah.
That is one of the most important things.
I was just gonna ask you.
Do you know if this is your cat? Do you know if this is anyone's cat? You know what I mean? If you know your neighbors, it's easy to talk and find out, but you need to find out, first of all, if it belongs to somebody. That's
you don't want to take somebody's cat and neuter it.
No.
Well, usually they'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
As soon as they shave it, especially if it was a stray or a feral cat, they'll put either a tattoo on their belly. One of our cats had that, so
the city will do that, to tag the cat.
Yeah, they kind of tag them.
The city hires, kind of subcontracts a lot of vet offices.
I see.
So that's how that works, and then each vet office does their own little thing.
We have a calico. She waltzed into our house, and We tried to find her home. She was chipped, but not registered
She ballroom danced into your house.
into the house after,
Wow.
after being initiated in the gang by our older cat. Our older cat whooped her
Are you
ass.
sure that he didn't just like, this is like, he jumped her in?
Yeah, they jumped her into the gang.
She's
They're
like,
like,
okay,
"All right."
right,
okay.
I'm in. She
She's
walked
like,
right
hey,
in.
your daughter just jumped me into the gang. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this food.
I see.
But
I
we
see.
tried to find her home because she was chipped. We found out she was chipped. And unfortunately, the rescue group who had her never registered her.
How did it, like the chip with the name of the cat and like
It
a
was just
dog?
chip. It was just literally
It's
the
so you
chip
can track them,
unregistered.
but you have to register it. It's
Yeah.
like,
So,
yeah.
for example,
Like a GPS for your kitty.
No.
No, a
No.
tag.
It's a skin tag.
It's a tag.
So it's like it's a subdermal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right underneath the layer of your skin. It's not like in the muscle. It's subdermal. And so then when you run there's a particular scanner. You run it on top of the skin, and it scans a number.
Mm-hmm.
So when you adopt an animal from the shelter, they implant this microchip, but you as the new owner have to take it upon yourself to go online or to call to register that number that they just implanted your cat with your information. Some people adopt animals and don't follow through with that step, and so now you have
A
a
chip cat with no registration.
No
yes,
registration.
exactly.
So it was open. It was fair game. I was like, oh, she's mine.
fair game.
You
She's
think
a
if
calico.
somebody would like adopt a cat with the registration and say, "Yeah, I'll register," and then like, "Well, let me see if this is
Yeah.
gonna work out or not." Maybe it didn't work out. And they
No,
kind of like
honestly, I
abandoned
think
the
a
cat?
lot of the people it's just they forget.
Forgetful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, and from my experience, it's just you just fucking forget.
The crazy thing about Calico, her chip came from Long Beach.
It's a long way to be.
I know, and I'm in Hollywood. Someone
Kind of that
went
Hollywood life.
all the way to Long Beach or to one of the Long Beach, the
Well,
fairs.
it could
that-
be
adoption
those
fairs.
mobile pet adoptions. So, because I was thinking that as well, and I used to do mobile pet adoptions, and so you would get a cat that was registered to South LA, but we were doing somewhere in Santa Monica, so you would get a cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that distance.
And that's Calico's like.
But nobody would say if they wanted a cat, like, "Well, where's this cat from?" This is no, I don't want a Long Beach cat. I want one from the West Side.
No.
Like no, that would never happen, right?
No, that would be ridiculous.
I don't think so.
I'm just. But so if you find a stray cat versus a feral cat, a stray cat's gonna be friendlier, right?
Yes.
Just someone that so you call a stray cat cats that have been around humans and will kind of come up
They'll
and
approach
chill.
you. Yeah. The pharaohs,
Ferals
not
are just
really. They
like,
kind of stay
see you,
away.
they walk the other side of the street.
If you leave food, you have to go away from the food so they can get the food. The strays, they'll probably come up to your hand and eat out your hand or something. But
A lot of strays are cats that have been abandoned by humans. That's where strays really come from.
Yeah.
It's a human being like, oh, a cat is so cute. Oh my God, it scratched my furniture. I don't want this no more. Oh my God, it's
I can see that.
it's Brits. It's like,
I mean, the first thing the cat did, the very first day, went to one of my speakers and started to scratch. I'm like, oh, I did it, a scratch pad. I mean, they're just being curious, and I thought it was kind of funny. The cat was just everywhere. On windowsills, it was like exploring. It was like, oh, this is a new giant mansion for me. It's mine, right? No, but it would explore, and of course, the cats have claws. Cats have claws,
Well,
and
that's
I mean,
where there's corrective things that you can do to correct the behavior of your cat as well as you do with a dog. You don't want them to do any particular type of behavior. You can correct it, and so you can just instead of scratching that, and then I bought like these scratching things that you put by the couch. So
So
instead of
you-
scratching the couch, scratch this particular
train your
scratch
animals.
pad that I
try as best you can.
yeah
Because they're still gonna do whatever they want every once in a while.
Yeah, when you're not around, and I'm like, ay,
Who knows?
Pero, you try. Like you said, yeah. Try as best as you can, especially for cats, because, dogs, I think you can monitor them a little bit better, but cats.
So how did you guys become like the cat like gurus of your neighborhood. Did you guys? So were you guys always cat folk, or when you guys met, did you guys realize I'm a cat person? You like cats, or like
Not even.
how did this happen? How did this come about?
Maddie didn't even
Was
like
the
animals.
The opposite of a cat person.
So what happened?
I don't
first
like animals.
met
I
Maddie,
really didn't.
yeah, when I first met her, she was anti animals, and she had only that one cat, and she was even that at the like was just
I
So
never wanted animals.
what happened? What happened?
What happened was that my roommate brought 2 kittens to my house, and I was livid. I was so fucking pissed. And it's like, you're pregnant and you're bringing 2 extra mouths to feed, and don't want any fucking animals here in my house. You know, whatever, she had them. She had to keep them in her room. I kind of felt bad because I could see them like scratching at the door, and I was like, fuck, I'm the evil villain. But I said no animals in my apartment, period. I grew up without animals. My mom did not allow that, really. Like, she really implemented that, like, anti-liking animals. So that rubbed off on me a lot. And then eventually my roommate moved out, and Jose allowed the cat to come back and forth.
I didn't allow the cat. The cat was out.
Had his
in
own
the-
his
yeah,
own-
He just walked up to the door all the time.
And he would let him in all the
And I'd
time.
be like,
let him
yeah,
in.
go ahead.
And then, eventually I decided to take on him. I was like, fuck it. I told her, I was like, hey, he's always here. And
So he grew on you.
yeah. And
That's
Yeah.
cat number. What was the name of this cat? Did you name that cat at that
Yeah,
point?
he had the crazy name, Automat Kalashnikov.
that's what I
But we
named
used to
him.
call him Boy for
Yeah.
short.
Yeah.
A little AK.
I called him and his sister was boy and girl. And then I decided we went with Automat Kalashnikov.
Where is that name from? That's amazing.
AK-47. That's the name of it.
yeah. The it's a Russian.
It's a Russian
Oh,
name.
the Kalishnikov.
Yes.
I
I was
said
gonna say
The
Kalashnikov. Yeah,
Automat
Kalashnikov.
Kalashnikov. Automat.
Automat. Yeah.
Automat.
Forgive my Russian
The whole
accent.
name. Yeah, I was like, what? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
our
was big. He looked like a big, tabby
So
tiger.
gorgeous.
He kind of looked like a Bengal.
Yeah.
He's
I think
huge.
he was
Gorgeous.
so because he was huge, and also he had the tendencies like so those cats that are bred with like wild cats, so they're Bengals, and they have like this very particular type of
Look.
behavior
Yeah,
and
behavior.
look also. But I'm pretty sure that cat was.
Nah, you guys want to know what it was? That fool was born in La Mara Salvatrucha fucking area.
Wait a second. Wait.
Motherfucker was La Mara Salvatrucha.
He was from that part of town.
So he grew up in my neighborhood by Echo Park.
So he was born there.
He was just
MacArthur
the-
Park area.
Puta.
Union
He's
is
got that air about him. Oh my god.
That's why he's
Union and
AK.
30, Union is
He was
6.
selling fucking passports right there and at the park.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
you need a little crack? That's behind his fang.
Just like, yeah. Wow. Okay, so he was okay.
Yeah, he was a Mara.
Yeah, but then he got really sick, and it ended up costing like $1,500
Wait a second.
to save his life.
And wait,
And once
your
he
cat
did that,
got sick?
yeah.
After how long?
Oh no, she just accepted him, and it's like, oh,
Wait.
come on.
You just accepted him into your life, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then he got
Uh-huh.
sick,
And then he got sick.
and then you had to like, and
Rush
then
him to the hospital on the 4th of July weekend.
So, what we were talking about was Atoma,
Oh, yeah.
and how as soon as you got him, then he got sick. Let's go.
Yeah, he got sick the minute I got him, pretty much. Like, when I told his owner, it's like, hey, I'm taking over him. He's going to be mine. And all of a sudden, I find blood spots throughout my house. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because I've never seen big blood spots coming out of my cat.
I
And
never even had a cat.
seriously. I'm like, fuck. It turned out that he had a narrow urethra.
Oh, that's what it was. I forgot.
He's a cat
That's
that
right.
had a narrow. Most boys have something called narrow urethra, and which means that because of the size of their urethra, a lot of their piss will crystallize along the lines of their urethra, so it blockages.
Well, even on top of that, the reason why, and this is why I make a big deal of my cat's food, is because just even to start with, male cats, the way the urethra is like a squiggly, like, and so when it does, if you don't give them the adequate amount of the food that is
It's high
Balance.
in acidity. Yeah,
Balance.
it has to be high in
well,
acidity.
that is balanced for their particular system, then it crystallizes, and because they have that squiggly urethra, only in males, then they get blockages and they get all these problems. So
And one way to fix it is turning your cat into a tranny or giving them a high acidic diet, which is pretty much almost like a vegan cat diet. Because that's what it turned out to be. It was like very high acidic, and it was like straight vegetable. Like it was a vegan. He was vegan for like 3 years before he ever got to eat regular food and stuff like that. Like we kept them. So that is one thing to keep in mind when you encounter a cat is you don't know what they're coming with. And if you're going to take that upon yourself, you got to be ready to take them to the vet. You got to be ready to help them because you decided to pull them out of wherever they were and you are deciding to help them. So you cannot be like pick and choose what you're going to help them with.
it's kind of like pick and choosing your children. Like, oh, well, you know what? My kid didn't turn out to be like 1,000%. So can I just drop him off at the orphanage, like real quick?
Yeah.
Like forever.
It's not fair to an animal that has already been abandoned to be reabandoned by their rescuer. So before you decide to take on an animal, you better be ready to be able to pay for it financially. Because Jose always tells me, he's like, can you afford it? Are you able to afford it? That's like the biggest thing he always tells me, like before I can accept bringing in a cat into our house.
So let me ask you that the time where you did see blood spots and you say it was like July the 4th and you had a bill of $1,500. How did you I'm just curious of what the reaction was. You take it back. Okay, the cat's sick, but you probably didn't expect like a $1,500 like bill. Like, oh, maybe you need some like antibiotic, some medicine.
Yeah.
You go to the doctor, $100, maybe, $50 for medication, and
Yeah.
take it for a week, you'll be fine. No.
He needed a full-on procedure. They needed to, which is, I always found it ironic. A cat needed a catheter. Lala gets.
Yeah, I know. Wait, was this not funny to you guys?
I mean, I get it.
Cat,
It's
yeah.
like, all right.
Catheter.
Catheter. That's how you spell it. Cat. Catheter.
So-
Oh my god, those. Oh my god.
Oh my god, those. Oh my god. Wait, so what happened? Like, let me just on a personal note. So $1,500. Vet comes out and says, "Well, do you want this procedure or not?"
Essentially, that's
Because I mean, if you say no, what happens?
You
Just
take
let it
him
die.
home and it will
Yeah,
his bladder will burst.
Explode.
And then
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah,
And he
it will
dies.
bleed
Painful death.
internally.
So that's exactly what happens to unweaned kittens. So the mom licks them in order for them to urinate and defecate. Otherwise, their internal organs literally explode in their stomachs. And that's how kittens die. If there is not a mom present to lick them for them to use
Yeah.
the bathroom.
Don't
the
take
facilities.
brand new kitties from their litter or
Wow.
Not
wherever
from
they're
their
at.
mama.
Folks.
Not from
Well,
their
unless you
mama.
have the time to sit there and rub with warm water and like, for them to defecate and urinate.
Otherwise,
I had
they
to
will
do.
explode. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, right? I mean, that's
No,
probably
that's
like the biggest
literally
reason.
the
You don't want to do that. You want to just keep those kittens. Once again, if you find a litter,
But
most likely the mom
it's
will
like-
come back.
Yes.
The most painful way of dying.
Yeah.
So anyway, That's rough, Mari. That
yeah,
is really
yeah.
rough. So that's the procedure that you had to go through with
Yeah.
Boy.
Luckily, I mean, my financial aid, because I was in college, had just arrived. And I was
Use your
like,
financial aid
I
for
used-
Like,
school.
forget school. I'm gonna save my cat that I'm just accepted.
Yeah.
I just accepted you in my life, and you're
Literally
fucking
like the day
dying on
before.
me here.
the good thing is that semester already had ended. So it was a delayed financial aid. So it's like, oh, okay, I already suffered through the semester, broke as hell. So I had a little mini savings somehow for him.
So your
Just
cat
to
comes.
spend on your cat.
Yeah. But he was the cat that showed us, at least me, because I'm really bad with finances, that you cannot just take on an animal because you need to have the financial resource for it. And I don't ask for help. We do not ask for help. We do this out of our own pocket. Like, we've never been like, oh, hey, here's some money to do it. Until like, okay, well, recently I had one of the kittens brought to me by my neighbor. The little girl's father actually pitched in for a vet visit for the cat, and it was $120. And unfortunately, the little cat didn't even make it.
Oh.
Well, and this is the thing that I kind of mentioned to her. It was like, girl, if you just create like a public profile and then just have people, you might not get any donations, but you're already not getting any donations. So it wouldn't hurt to just at least have like a GoFundMe just for the things that you do. You know what I mean? Just because.
Nah, you know what? Honestly, I don't want to take anyone's money just because there's a lot of, what are they called? The weasels that bug people on the internet. What's that thing called? Trolls. A lot of trolls. A lot of rescuers that I
Weasels
follow
that are trolls.
Wait, troll.
trolls. You know what I mean? The internet trolls.
No, what does that mean?
They just
They go
basically
after
talk
rescuers.
shit.
I mean,
Why?
they like talk shit. They're like, oh, this is fake. And it's like,
Wait, there's people that go after rescuers and
like professional rescuers, there's people that like go after them for just
like
because
just
they
talking shit
anti-animal.
on their pages. Like, they'll
wait, what the
give,
fuck is a troll? Let's just start with that.
Anybody that would make fun of or not take serious the subject that you're talking about.
Online.
and we'll
that's
talk smack
considered-
about the person. We'll continue to harass like the person that the content is about, or like.
Oh wow! I guess yeah, there is a no matter what, because it is an open forum. There are quite a bit of trolls out there. There are people who, much like bullies in growing up,
It's
they're
the
fucking
cyberbullying.
they're
That's
cyberbullies.
what it's called.
Yeah.
Trolling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where have you been, girl? She has a podcast and she don't know trolling.
Just inhaled.
She just inhaled a troll.
You just inhaled a troll. There's a troll in your.
Just because I have a podcast doesn't mean that I actually listen to anybody else. Okay. As you guys don't fucking listen to me either.
That one.
Ah.
I do.
Oh, twice. Maddie,
You know, there's even a
0
transcript.
times. 0%. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I've
you
read.
can
I've read through the transcript.
into
So
different
I've at least done that
languages.
too. 'Cause I
We
was like,
literally had our Brazil one transcripted to like Portuguese.
Oh my god.
nice. See, so I even know that because I've read through the transcripts.
Yeah.
Just saying, Maddie. Just saying.
No, but I don't wanna take people's money, honestly, just because I'm doing this for the neighborhood cats that I see or that are brought to me. I've been lucky to have placed like at least 5 animals already. And that's big for someone that doesn't do this on a normal basis, because I'm not. If it needs
randomly.
to happen, it happens. And I'm glad I help my little. It's like this much of what I help compared to what some of the.
Yeah, but you know what? It's the point that you're actually doing it and you're making an impact, because it's more than zero.
Yes,
no.
And I think that's important.
And the reason why I wanted to bring you both on is for that reason, because you guys, even though to you it seems very little, that little is something more than nothing. And so if everybody can do this tiny little bit, we would definitely be at a better situation.
Yeah. So after Automat
Atoma.
Kalishnikov comes back home, and how long was he out for? Or was he out for?
Oh, he was out that 4th of July weekend. It happened to be on the 4th of July weekend. I took him in on a Friday. And because he had to be hospitalized, sedated, and all of that, it easily came out to like 1,500 by the end of the weekend. I was like, they're like, you could leave him here somewhere. I was like, no. You guys drained him? Okay.
And so he was your first. So I guess, I think with any animal, you kind of just want to be responsible. Don't take in a cat if you really can't buy kibble or the dry or wet food or litter, or if you plan to keep it indoors. I mean, I guess there's that thing. You do take a cat in. Yeah, you're feeding another mouth.
You are.
Might not be a big mouth, but it's still you're feeding somebody else. And you gotta be responsible.
Pretty much you're bringing in another life. That's how people have to see it. It's another life coming into your world.
Also, cats live 15 to 20 years.
They definitely can. Mine.
So that is
17.
literally a fucking child.
Years.
Boy lived 17 years. Yeah.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
You get really attached to these guys.
Oh
As a
yeah.
family member,
He definitely
I think
was.
so.
Even though he got annoying towards the end, just meowing all the time. He was so skinny.
Yeah, he was in pain. Unfortunately, he was in pain. We did everything. Like the vet said, hey, all you guys can do is give him his best life that he can have, and that's what we did. We bought him. We spoiled him with food, whatever he
chicken from Bonds.
wanted. Like whatever he wanted, he got. Like
They like lobster and stuff.
nah, he loved
the chicken.
roastery,
Rotisserie?
roasted. Yeah, that one.
Rotisserie chicken.
He loved that. He could kill half a chicken with me.
Wow.
With her, both of us together watching TV.
I can totally see that. Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
He was my buddy. Me and him spend a lot of time together because I took him in like, oh my God, 2009. And I don't think I got another cat until, I think when
Yeah.
did we get Cootie Pie?
He was single for a while.
Yeah, I want to
he
say
was a loner.
2015.
And then suddenly she became the crazy cat lady.
No, people just dump animals.
So
And
it happened gradually.
yeah, it really did. It's just,
Over time.
I don't think people could take care of the animal the way I could take care of it. And I fall in love with them and I don't want to let them go.
Yeah, it's a problem.
That is a big problem. It's like they have been what's called a rescue fail.
Oh yeah, 'cause
You
she
rescue
rescues but then
them,
she keeps
so
them.
you foster them, and then it's fostered to adopt fail. And then they
That's a
stay with me.
rescue fail.
Well, did they come
Whoa.
back? Well, I had a friend who they took care of some dogs that were just on a lot in like the Echo Park, Silver Lake area, and they took the dogs in and they took them to rescue, and they thought that one of the they placed the dog and they thought that was going to work out, but the dog was, they just didn't get along with the other animals, so
Oh yeah.
they couldn't keep it there anymore. So it had to go back, and it broke everybody's heart because
Oh yeah.
really thought they was going to find a home.
Yeah. No, these are called foster fails because the foster parent wants to keep the animal.
Oh.
Chooses to keep the animal.
Yeah.
Well, wait, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
It's
good,
a good
thing,
thing
for the
that's
cat.
in the cat world. That's in cat world.
Oh, in the cat world, you want a foster to fail because that means that they're.
The foster will keep the animal.
Oh wow, yeah. No, I think that's a good situation for any animal.
I think it's way harder for
dog.
dogs. I encountered, unfortunately, an incident where someone rescued an animal from a shelter and wanted to make this animal a guard dog
Oh
and
no.
didn't give it any more better treatment and then just ended up dumping the dog back to the shelter. And
That's a very, very common occurrence in the dog world.
Oh, that's so depressing. The guard dog?
Especially because dogs, like I said, are so dependent on humans. Like the reason why I feel like it's not a little bit better, but kind of is just because cats are very self-sufficient. Like you said, motherfuckers will have 3 or 4 homes. Like, oh, this person over here pampers me like this. Over here, da, da, da. Son oportunistas los pinches güeyes.
Oh yeah.
You know, which
Opportunistic
is
kitties.
what that's how cats are.
Yeah, they're
But
surviving.
dogs aren't that smart. Like,
Aw, they can be smart.
Jose can tell you, Peanut had me psyched out. He had me completely psyched out because I thought he was homeless. And it was like, nope, that motherfucker was not homeless. He just liked to come harass. He had his big old balls. He had big old huevos. I called him huevudo. I used to
Garfield?
call him huevudo, remember? Yeah. His original name that I nicknamed him was huevudo.
So was there certain kind of food that he liked that you would give him that like he didn't get anywhere else, or is it just like
No,
this is a snack? This is
because all the girls live in our house.
Yeah, we have a cat
like,
house
I
of
see.
girls.
I
We
see.
had at one point, what was it? 6 girls in our house.
I see.
And it's a small apartment.
A 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom. And that's small. But it was Jose that has made it more possible now for us to be able to spay and neuter. Because he found the program that really helped us.
Can you talk about that? Because
And so, that's another reason why we wanted to bring you guys on is because I wanted to, like, first of all, like, where do you go to? And then if this doesn't apply to you in your city, wherever you're listening to, like how to go about getting these resources, or how do you get this help, or how do you go about, do your thing?
Yeah. No, well, luckily I found out about citywide cat program. I went to a City of LA event that they had, and they just had like the animal shelter, like jobs that you can find with the city. And then I went to the animal shelter spot, and it's like I told them, well, what can we do with cats? We're trying to get them spayed and neutered. It's like, oh, there's a citywide cat program that if you apply, if you create an Angelino account, you get access to 100 vouchers for 6 months. And that's
100
free.
vouchers?
Yeah, 100 vouchers. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
What was
yeah.
the name again?
Well, it's the citywide cat program, but you have to sign up by creating an Angelino account. It's called
Okay. So yeah, like send us that information. We'll plug that in, and we'll have that information so you guys can definitely access it.
Yeah. So you create an Angelino account, and then through the Angelino account, you sign up for the citywide cat program. They just ask you for basic information. I don't even think you need to put your income or anything. Just where the area is, and if you want to do a local spay and neuter or a more citywide spay and neuter, because they have different amounts of vouchers. If you do citywide, you get more. You get more vouchers.
What's a
as opposed-
citywide? Like if you go around the
Yes,
entire
if
city?
you go around
Oh,
different places, if you're doing like your
like
own
literal-
TNR, like you're going out.
Woof. Okay. That's
But what I
definite
found out
dedication.
is initially I got the one for the local, which is only for 3 months. But there's a process. It's not like you just get the vouchers. It's like, no. You have to find an organization that accepts those vouchers. And now there isn't that many anymore. I think
why
it
is
costs
that?
like $200 to spay or neuter a cat, and the voucher's only for 110.
So you're out like $80.
Yeah, so a lot of times, like when we first started it, we were paying out of pocket because we didn't know of the places that would do it for just a voucher. So it's like, oh yeah, we'd chip in like $80 each time, 110 with the voucher, and then $80 to 200 or
Wow.
whatever.
So after 10, 20 cats, this is really expensive.
it
Woof.
starts
Yeah, it
adding
starts
up.
to accumulate.
But then there's this organization called Spay for LA, and they just accept the vouchers. Nothing else. You don't have to pay anything extra, and they even give you a cone for the animal, and the cones are like $20.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
The
and you get
e-cones?
the e-cones. But with that, you still have to kind of make the appointment in advance, 3 months in advance,
Oh, wow.
because everyone's trying to get it for free essentially. And then once it gets close to your appointment, then you get the voucher, because the voucher is only good for 2 weeks. Like you have almost
Oh,
an
so they
endless
give you a
amount.
window.
So you have a window, and that was my first mistake. When I did it, I was like, okay, cool, I got these vouchers. Let me print out 3 of them. Let me make the appointments, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be 3 months from now. But my voucher is gonna be done in like 2 weeks. Like, well, they recommended, get the appointments first, and then as you get close, put a reminder on your phone or something, and then print out the vouchers. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then that's the way. But even then, like it should be easier, but it's so difficult just to get it done because the days available are like Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 a.m. in the morning. Majority of people have work or something to do in the middle of the week, but we would figure out a way to kind of just sneak out, be there at 6:30 in the morning, because by 7, by the time they open up, there's a long line down the block. Like everyone's trying to do it. And these are mostly in lower income communities. You'll find they show up in a van, like the RVs, with all the equipment inside.
Mobile spay neuter ban.
The mobile spay neuters.
Exactly.
It's not always the same place. They go to the same places, but they alternate. So you just gotta catch them when they're close, make the appointment, show up early, and just give them the voucher, which is great.
Yeah, and I feel like, well, at least when I was working there, like the spay neuter was so much easier back in the days, I think, because
Yeah, it
we
was.
had a spay neuter clinic at the South LA shelter, and they like I worked at that clinic, and so like we would just get people and like we used to write out because we were part of the mobile pet adoption program, and so our job was also not to also disseminate information about taking care of your pets, but also giving you information about resources and providing resources for you. And so we were the ones that would actually sign these little booklets. We used to get like little booklets, but like I said, this was like over 20 years ago. So I'm not sure what that looks like anymore.
Unfortunately, because we live in a society that is, how do you say that gain for profit. What is that?
Oh, for profit.
For profit, complete. We're a for profit completely. Even though you get a voucher, these vet places will want $150 to $200 more on top of the voucher just to get it neutered or spayed. And on top of that, they're gonna try and sell you the blood work. Like, oh, do you want to see if it has
You gotta
leukemia?
get ready for that.
And of course, you do want to know these things. But when you are on low resources, obviously, you can't afford these things, and you don't get a chance to find out if your animal does have some kind of defect unless you can afford 150.
In addition to whatever it is that you're
That they're
paying
charging for the spay
for
neuter.
for the low income spay neuter. Yeah,
We used to have this bomb ass clinic, but off of like San Fernando Road over there, like Glendale.
Angeles, yeah, they were the last one. They were the last one that took the vouchers.
The vet retired and resold the business, and they no longer take the voucher at all. And if they did, they were taking it just for, was it just females or males?
Just females. They're only
Just
doing
females.
females.
So no males at all. It's like, why are they making it so much harder for people with animals instead of making it easier? I don't understand where the disconnection happens. It's like they want to increase adoptions, but then we have buildings that want to charge you ridiculous amounts of deposit just to have an animal. And it's like, I feel like unless they're given an incentive, we're going to keep having these problems where people abandon their animals. One of the animals I have had the luck of placing was because the owner was like, oh, excited to get a cat. Oh, yeah, no, get a cat. I get a cat. I get a cat. But as soon as they told her, like, oh, you need $250 as a deposit, she's like, oh, I need to get rid of this cat. She had that cat for like 30 minutes.
I mean, that's kind of the deposit I'd never paid on my cat that I don't have, that doesn't exist in my apartment.
Right? They make it hard. There is
I'm not gonna get rid of my cat just because
there
they
is
say I need a
one
deposit.
person that really works on trying to get like serious like legislation passed, which is kitten lady. The kitten lady, she helps a lot of like kittens and stuff like that, and she has worked really hard with some politicians to try and pass legislation to help for cats and stuff like
Well,
that.
you know what I think it should be is that because the reason that they require these deposits at these apartments is because male cats, more specifically unneutered male cats, spray. And so that very unique whiff and smell of cat urine is so pervasive, then I understand. As a building owner, as a homeowner, if you're renting out your personal home to other people, I would understand why you would want to have this kind of, but if you were to able to do like a lesser deposit because the cat was neutered before 1 year, and so then they never developed the fucking marking territory situation, then you get a discount on the deposit, because then your cat really, what is your cat gonna do? Like, how is it gonna fuck up your apartment? It really isn't. You know what I mean? And so maybe if there was some sort of incentive of I don't know.
No, exactly. Like, honestly, our great mayor should pass incentive to building owners to get some kind of tax credit for allowing animals to live in their fucking property.
But that are spayed and neutered. So then,
Yes,
then
that too,
it would
yes.
be kind of like a cycle of, and then encouraging pet owners to spay neuter all of their fucking pets.
Yeah. And increase
That's a
the
good idea.
I see
Increase
some
the
eyes
voucher.
darting my way because my dog was not fixed,
Never fixed.
but he had a good life.
But he
How do
wasn't
you
knocking
know?
up a bunch of other dogs, right?
No, it was a
No.
boy.
It was a
Well, there
boy
you
dog.
go. I mean, that's the only reason why I think they should be spayed or neutered, is that they don't keep
Yeah.
growing, increasing the
Yeah,
population.
but the thing is that you can never assert that the people are going to actually take care of the pets and not allow them to procreate.
yeah,
And
on
that's the
owner.
reason why.
Irresponsible.
Yes, because we have such a high level of irresponsible pet owners.
Well, let me tell you how important it is to neuter your pets. We have a disabled cat, one of the ones that we have taken in.
In a wheelchair.
He's a stray cat. He's a stray cat. He had an owner that because he stepped outside the house, she decided like, oh, I don't want him no more.
Right?
Yeah. She's like, oh, he went outside, so he can't come back in anymore. Like, completely abandoned him. He is part of the majority of the white cats that are partially blind, because he is partially blind. And if we wouldn't have gotten him neutered, we would have never known that one of his balls did not descend and was up still in his body, and it would have became cancerous.
Yeah.
Like, the vets called us and they're like, hey, we're not going to be able to do the surgery because this is more invasive for a
More
cat.
complicated.
Yeah, it was more.
More specifically for a male
So
cat.
they couldn't
Yeah.
take the voucher.
Yeah.
But wait a
And we
second.
had to
so,
pay 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
so because
Because-
it was more complicated.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
kind of like spaying a female.
yeah. You
Because
have to
that's
cut
an
open.
invasive surgery.
Yeah.
Male cats, you literally just open the outside of the scrotum, you do and then you just tie, and that's it.
And then, yeah,
How do you do it again, Lala? Do-do-do-do?
Slice.
just hit repeat
Slice
on
and
that,
dice.
on that film.
Replay that over and over again.
So
There you
it's
go.
just very important so that you're not
Yeah.
like, because
But
cats
the
procreate
scrotum-
pretty quickly,
Well,
right?
the
Like,
scrotum is on the outside of your body, right?
yeah.
Your scrotum is outside of you. Our uterus is inside of us.
Yeah, and for my cat,
that's
Sounds like a personal
invasive.
problem.
That is invasive surgery.
And for
You're
this cat-
invading the internals of your goddamn body.
I'm not disagreeing with you. However, what is the the cycle of a female cat and heat?
The
How many times a
crazy
year, or how many times
the
can they have
crazy shit
kittens?
is that a cat can get impregnated by more than one cat.
So she
Wow.
can have a litter of 3 different cats.
And
Oh.
it's extremely violent what happens to female
Oh, yeah.
cats. Because one cat will be mounting her, and she can easily have another boy cat beating her up because he wants to mount her. And it's horrific for a girl cat.
I'm sure all of y'all have experienced screaming cats outside of you goddamn
Yeah,
window.
and it's
I've
because
heard
of
that.
that. It's
Fucking loud as
because-
fuck. Because it's aggressive as fuck.
Yeah, it's not nice at all. It is a really ugly picture. It's like, and she will get pregnant by multiple cats.
And in one litter have babies of multiple different
Multi-cats.
cats.
But that's why it helps spay and neuter. Because even in our
Let's talk
neighborhood,
about spay and neutering.
all the cats, they used to pee on our
Spay.
door. They used to fight a lot. We got them all spayed and neutered. We don't deal with that anymore at all.
Oh yeah.
At
Do
all.
they even speak to you anymore?
They all have owners now. All of a sudden.
Oh, they don't even come visit. They don't come visit.
All of a sudden, you know.
All of a
They're like,
sudden,
"Oh,
the
no,
owner's like, oh,
that's the house that you go get your fucking genitals cut out."
Stay away from that.
We do not see Garfield anymore.
every once in a while he goes,
Yeah.
he gets out, but
So they kind of like, did they mellow out or was it?
Oh, yeah,
they-
100%.
And
100%.
that's the reason what I was talking about of the reason why people who rent out their units, apartments, homes, etc., is because mostly it's because of the male cats. Male cats have a tendency to fucking piss everywhere,
So there's a
and
stigma
it's
on males.
very
Yes.
pungent, and you cannot get rid of that. Like, it's so difficult to get rid of that smell, and so that's why. And so then, if you have an encouragement of male cats that are neutered, then you get a discount if you rent my place. And then that will encourage people, well, if I get my cat neutered, then I can have a cat in my apartment and not pay
rent,
this
that's
high, you
I
know,
do remember that
deposit
smell.
amount.
It's
And
not,
so it's
um,
going to be like a circular, you know, rotating, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but, you know.
cycle.
I used to have a cat
you.
friend, or like what I'm saying is a cat that whenever I'd come home late at night, 3, 4 in the morning, he could hear my car. I roll down the window and I just call out. And within minutes, he would come. I can hear him jumping from rooftop to rooftop onto my hood, come and I'll pet him for like 10, 15 minutes. And then, so he would spray my tires. He would spray around my car like, that's
That's the
mine.
worst.
That's claiming you. Pretty much.
Yeah, I know. It's
That's
basically
claiming you.
me. But
Stinky
yeah,
car's
no,
mine.
it's just it's probably
I-
not. It's not a good smell.
I bet he had his balls.
Yeah, I use the
Yeah.
street cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, street cats can also not have balls if
if you
possible.
Yeah.
catch them.
Which is what we're trying to encourage here on this
Yeah.
podcast at Whahahappen. We're trying to encourage people to please spay and neuter all of your pets. All of your pets.
Including goldfish.
All of your pets.
I gotcha.
Everything.
Gotcha.
Hey, my family owned one rabbit, and it was sad because we were told they died because their ovaries exploded because she never had. She would go into heat and kids. Oh my god, that's so funny, but it's not fucking funny. As an adult, I realized that's not fucking funny. It's an animal being going through what nature forces them to go through, and because they're trapped in a cage that we trapped them in, their body
They can't go
doesn't.
out. Yeah. Mm.
But we never took care of it and got rid of its reproductive system, and the poor animal.
Kind of like I wanted to get rid of my reproductive system since the first time I gave birth. But you know what? Oh my God. Thank God to U.S. laws and all the men. They didn't allow me to.
Well, there's,
Until I was
there's a
like
bigger.
in my 40s.
That's
And
a
I
whole other
probably
animal.
almost
That's an animal we're not going to
unable
touch
to
today.
reproduce.
Yeah.
We're
there's-
on
there's
bigger
bigger
feline
politics
animals
on
today. That's other problems.
The After Hours podcast.
No, but we are lucky that Jose found this program because I genuinely could not afford to neuter two boy cats, and I think we ended up doing like 4 boy cats in less than 1 year.
Wow. But it just literally just takes a lot of patience and diligence basically
Yes.
on your part, and then taking the time yourself. So would it be easier like if you had help with transporting the pets?
Oh, yeah, definitely. 100%.
Is that what makes it hard? Is it because of the hours, and then you're having difficulty going to work, and then
Yeah, if there could
transporting
be
these
like a group
cats.
of people that share the work, that would totally make it way better. Like, oh, someone get the voucher, someone book the appointment, someone coordinates, see who can take
so
the cat out.
delegating basically?
Yeah, that would make it easier. But that's when you have an organization.
Yeah.
with the
I'm
people
like,
working.
well, at that point, they
Yeah.
would be in an
Yeah,
organization.
but if it's just 2 people, it's like, okay, I'm the only one that drives, and We have
Oh,
to.
is that why you guys called me that one day?
Yeah.
And
We
I
did
was
try
just
to
like,
call you.
oh,
You take
yeah.
a cat to get spayed and neutered?
Well,
We're
no,
gonna have her
they
pick it. We're gonna have her
canceled at the
pick it
last
up.
minute.
Yeah, because then they were done sooner than we thought.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, we can just go get the cat right now, and so Lala, oh, you don't have to go anymore. We're gonna. Do it.
Yeah. But I was like, they're like, oh my God, it's right by your house. So, wow. Well, now knowing that, like, I feel terrible that I didn't know this.
No,
Like,
'cause it
now I
ended up
kind of
working
want to,
out.
like, oh my God, if you guys need me, like, I don't work regular hours.
Part
Yeah,
of the
that's what we need.
solution, Lala.
Yes.
And you know
Part of the
what?
solution.
I got to admit that one of the issues that people have is this schedule that these organizations make themselves available for. Everyone wants to have the 9 to 5. You know what I mean? And these clinics are no different. But if they can maintain a later hours, I think we could get more people in than what is being seen, because some people cannot be at that schedule. 6 a.m.
Right.
You got to be there by 6
even if-
a.m. and
even
then you
if-
got to be there by 2:30 p.m. to pick it up. It's like,
Yeah.
who has that work schedule?
Yeah. Drop 'em
Can I
off
ask you
and pick
guys,
'em up.
so this is sounding like, so how long is the procedure generally? Is it like a half hour? You would wait, they do their thing for a half hour, then you get your cat back? Or
No, we drop them off.
hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I'm
5
just-
hours. Yeah, 5 or 6 hours.
yeah, because
they do a bunch
take a
of
bunch
them.
of cats. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a bunch
they
of
have them all
animals,
prepped.
You
cat,
don't know
dogs.
when your cat's gonna be done. It's just like done within this batch of time.
Yeah. And then
that's what
there's lines everywhere you
They
go.
stop
There's a
accepting
line.
after a while too. Once they have too much, they're like, sorry.
Yeah.
So
If
you're
you
not
don't get
getting
in,
your-
you don't get
They have
in.
to come
because
back.
when you get the appointment, it's like, oh, you have the appointment, but it doesn't guarantee that you'll be seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you have to get there early.
Fuck.
This whole shit of
First
first
come,
come,
first
first
serve.
serve
That's what it is.
is not really helpful. It really is not.
So you can have people wait in line if they can, and then have like just like, okay, come in, I'm here.
Yeah,
Spot for people.
Once again, it takes an organization.
Organization.
It's not like
I see
that's
something
what
brewing here.
me and him struggle. You know what I mean? Like we struggle with this because, like he
Oh my
said,
God, Marty, honestly.
he's the one that drives, not me. I don't drive at all.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Like, honestly, I didn't even know this. And so, yeah, like, if you guys need help, like, I will definitely offer my
yeah, that would help.
driving,
Yeah, that
driving
helps.
services because not that I don't work at all. I work.
And these same
But
services,
just not conventional hours.
and these same services can be obtained in your area in Hollywood for anyone living in Hollywood because they're part of the greater Los Angeles area. It is about obtaining these vouchers.
Well,
this-
no. For me, I understand, but because he asked me,
Yeah.
and so then he was like, "Well, maybe I'll just put your address because it's probably easier because I'm in Hollywood, than wherever
Yeah, most
this
likely
is,
you will
Bell or
This is
Maywood or
not-
whatever this is."
Unfortunately, where I'm at is not part of Los. This is
Yeah,
like
this
not.
is
This is
county.
incorporated.
But you should look into, I mean, like we have, what is it, 311? I'm not sure what your county
Yeah.
might have.
Yeah, so
So
we
you can
have that
find out about these
information
programs.
line of all these different programs. I don't know if your
In
city
LA.
has.
So we
Any
can look into your own
information?
city for your own services for your animals. I mean, it's
Yes.
amazing how many services and like how many resources are available. You just have to find them. They're out there for you.
Yeah.
You might not think they don't exist, but
It
things
just-
like that exist.
It just takes a bit of research, I
Yep.
guess, is what I'm saying, and
Honestly, all you need is simple words: spay, neuter, free,
and then your city name.
cats, dogs. Literally,
Yeah.
Google it.
simple word keywords. Honestly, it's like you can find
Well,
anything on
because
Google.
I've had people, contact me, and then I'm just like, oh, I don't know. And then, but they always ask me, like, in a moment where I'm just like, bro, I don't have the time to fucking sit there and search for you. Like, can you Google it?
I'm one of those people.
So is this information that you can just Google and that this is how you guys have come across your information? Is
Exactly.
just doing in-depth Google searches.
Exactly.
Well,
He
they
took
did
that one
tell me,
extra. He
They
did
did
that
tell
extra.
me when I went to the city event, when I talked to animal services, they're the one that told me, oh, just go online, look for citywide cat program, and have to create an Angelino account first, which is I think anyone could do it. I guess maybe you could borrow a LA, City of LA zip code. 'Cause that's all that they do to register to make sure that you're in LA. But you can catch a cat here and take it to one of those services that the city provides. and
Right.
it's fine.
I see what you mean. Okay. But then, I mean, for people who are outside of like this general area, maybe contacting your local animal shelters and then finding out if there is within your city or within your county any kind of programs. And
Yeah,
so, and then maybe they can teach you their like quote unquote hacks of getting these free services.
Yeah, because even on a quick side note, when I was with my mom out in Bloomington or taking care of her place, our dog killed a possum and
Injured it.
injured it pretty bad.
You're
Injured
like
it.
legality wise.
Yeah.
Not to the point
Let's
of
not.
It's not murder.
make Patron.
Yes, Patron. He's a pit bull.
never happened.
His name is Patron. He's a
my
patron
God.
of the good saint.
Oh,
my
I
great
thought
little
you meant
dog.
like the tequila, like he's Patron.
No, honey. He's
Oh,
a
probably.
He's Patron.
Probably a bit of both.
So what happened
Chris
to the?
named him.
So what happened?
So,
What
yeah.
happened?
What happened was this was on Valentine's Day this year, February 14th. I think it was like a Saturday or a Friday. I hear the dog barking. "Ah!" I'm like, what are you barking? At first, it's just being annoying. I finally went outside, and unfortunately, when he saw me, the dog was like, "Oh, I gotta protect you. Look how tough I am." And then that's when he bit the possum. And it's like, oh, and he had it like biting it on the snout, And I was just like, "Go, get off!" And I was like trying to hit him, but I didn't want to hit him. And then
Wait, and what kind of dog is this?
it's a pit bull, one of those
Yeah,
gray.
you can't.
gray,
You
whatever.
But
cannot.
he's not a.
No. But I'm saying once they bite and
And
clamp,
that's what I thought,
you
too.
cannot.
I was like, oh my god,
it's-
do I gotta put my finger in his butt to get him to open? But I didn't have to do
Make
that.
sure he gets some poppers before.
Oh my god.
A little popper.
No, because then he's not gonna let go of the possum. And be like,
March is funny.
but anyways, I was somehow able to get him off. Took him into the garage, and then I called Marty. I'm like, Marty, oh my god, what should I do?
What I do with the possum?
I was like, well, what should I do?
Oh my.
But I just called her, I think, just to have someone to talk to. Because then I was
Yeah.
like going through my head, okay, what should I do? What should I do?
Traumatic.
And-
It's a traumatic event. I've gone through a very traumatic situation like that. So yes,
Yeah, you're just like
you literally
all over the place
don't
for a
think to
second.
call any kind of services. You call the person immediate.
Someone
to
that
you.
might be able to help you.
Well, that
Yeah,
you
but
trust on
I
a
figured it
regular
out.
basis.
Yeah.
I got high, and then I was like, okay, let me relax. I was like, let me just get online. I got online. I look, okay, animal services
Possum
in
rescue.
San Bernardino County. So that's where we were. And looked online. It's like, oh, we're open 24/7 for calls. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't believe it. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call anyways. And I called the number. And sure enough, someone picks up. And I was like, hello? They're like, hello, how can we help you? I'm like, hello, is this a robot? And she's like, no, this is the animal
person.
services. I'm like, oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you for picking up on Valentine's Day, because I was surprised at that. I'm like, you should be out on a date or something. But nope, she was right there manning the phones. And they got someone to come out maybe an hour later, grab the possum, came into the yard, grabbed the possum by the tail, put it, in the cage and took it back to wherever it needs to go to get help. But yeah, literally just, going online. Everything is at your fingertips.
Google.
Like Marty said, just use those keywords. And unfortunately, you have to read.
Yeah.
You have to read, and then that's where you'll find the information through reading, and then you can
Wait, what if we don't
take the
read?
appropriate
So
steps.
I low key didn't want
Oh my
to
God.
kind of sound because I feel like in this podcast, I feel like I'm the super sarcastic person because I'm always like, well, if you just do the obvious thing.
Read.
But thank you for providing that relief for me and being that person. And yes, you have to do the work yourself.
Yeah.
And obviously, and I understand that in the community, there are some people that do not have access to internet or have cell phones. And so I understand that. And perhaps they need to contact somebody else to do this work for them. But the majority of us can do this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
My neighbors, they have me. the neighbors that I help out, we have a foster fail with one of the kittens they brought us. They brought us this little tiny black cat right after like 4th of July weekend. It was like right at the end of 4th of July weekend. And they brought her. I could, as soon as I saw her, I knew right away she had an upper respiratory infection because her little eyes were closed. They were trying
the
to give her.
mucus.
They were trying to give her milk, and I was like, no, 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 no,
That
no.
that actually causes worse because
Yeah,
it
the
causes
phlegm,
more
the
music.
phlegm.
Yes.
It's like that's for cows, not for cats. They might start with C, but they're not spelled the same. So, as soon as I got the little cat, she was like very calm. Like she felt, I don't know if she felt more comfortable because she had been passed around within all these little kids. Because there was like 4 little kids, like,
Playing
Well,
with the
also
cat.
if you're
Yeah, like
that
passing him
ill,
around, passing
if
her
you're-
around.
if you're that ill, you don't have the energy to fight back whatever,
Yeah.
I guess like your survival instincts aren't quite.
yeah.
At
It was
their
really
best.
sad because this cat had been abandoned at Bellevue Park in Los Angeles. And it was left in a box. And if this little girl didn't pick up that cat, definitely one of the wildlife would have eaten that little cat. The
Oh, yeah.
infection would have gotten worse. The eyes would have ruptured. I mean, it's
You guys
severe
live
what
in
can
the coyote
happen.
area, so
Yes.
coyote would have
The
taken it.
coyotes would have little munch.
Yeah.
That would have been a
It's
Snack.
good snack for
definitely a
them.
big coyote area.
Yeah. So luckily they brought her to us. We took her in. I was taking care of her and I got COVID. So
The cat gave you COVID?
no. I got COVID.
okay.
I got
Like,
COVID.
yeah,
Was
Oh,
it
it's a respiratory
COVID
infection.
giving day?
No,
Or
no,
was
no,
a
no.
different
That was
one?
that was
Oh,
different.
thank
That was
God.
I don't know where I got COVID from that time. Oh, I think from hanging out
Now
with you
with
again.
Lala.
I know. It's always with Lala. It's true.
Mira, no era yo, cabrón. Era otra persona
I'm
que
just
entró
saying.
a mi casa y que la
It's
trajo,
true.
okay?
I'll just say. I'll
However,
just.
everybody was exposed at my house, but it wasn't me who brought it into
But
my
if you
house.
hang out with Lala, you might get COVID.
Oh my stars.
But anyways, I got COVID. So Jose had to take over. And
cat.
this was our first bottle feeding.
Yeah.
Oh, you had to.
Every 3 hours.
We went and we got her the little milk. We got her, little bottles.
Now, when you say little milk, you're talking about
The
milk.
the cat formula.
KMR.
Cat
I believe they're
formula.
called
KMR.
KMR.
Not regular milk, folks. You got to get specific kitten formula for the
Kitten.
kittens.
Yeah, it's like from 1 week to like 5 weeks, and they have from 5 weeks to like 8 weeks because it's like different supplement in there.
Once again, if you guys want to make that mistake or actually make a commitment, if you see a litter, know that they're not going to have regular milk and they need specific cat milk that you can probably get at a pet store or vet.
Oh yeah.
So once
Yeah.
again, I just
Or
be
even for their
responsible.
mama.
Yeah.
Mama will be back. Cat moms do not abandon their children.
They do not.
They're not that kind of animal.
Yeah,
They're
but
not.
raising
they
that
just
kitty.
need to go fucking eat too.
Yeah, they
can't
are
just be
feeding like a
breastfeeding
load.
constantly, and
they're
then
feeding a load.
and they're street cats, so nobody's fucking feeding them, so they gotta go eat food. You know.
Yeah.
But she turned out to be our
Oh, that's
Squanchy.
Squanchy. That's
Squanchy.
Squanchy's story.
Jose happened to be.
Squanchy
happened
is
to-
so,
The funniest shit was that he happened to be running for the marathon, and he had to bottle feed her.
This was during his nipple situation. too.
Yes.
So yeah. Because I didn't know,
Lala, clarify
men
what
get
you mean by
their
that.
nipple shaped from running. Like that's the thing. If you run, your nipples can get
Yeah,
shaped.
shaped, yeah.
And so when I was feeding the kitty, like that's what made me realize I don't want kids. I never wanted kids because taking care of this cat for a week, waking up every 3 hours to give it milk,
He was the
wean
mama.
it, massage its belly. Like, oh man, it was so much work. But during that time, that I was training for the marathon. I went on my first 8-mile run, and my nipples got all shaved. It was like, And I was like,
while
oh,
you were,
so all the
while you were
breastfeeding.
breastfeeding, I mean, he was
You were
breastfeeding. Your breast went super tender and raw.
Oh yeah, so I know the feeling, girls. I know the feeling.
He's
Oh
had
my
shaved
God.
nipples
Oh
after
my!
breastfeeding
So
your
this,
kids.
this Squanchy became one of your cats.
Yeah, yeah.
That was his
But
baby.
She forgot to mention when they first brought Squanchy over, because we have a Ring camera,
Oh yeah.
and they were, hit the ring, and I was telling Mari, I'm like, don't go outside, don't go outside, and she went outside, don't look at it, and then she looked at it, and then that was it. I was like, all right, bring it inside. 'Cause,
You mean the cat?
yeah, because
Hit the button.
yeah, pretty much,
Oh.
pretty much, and they're like, oh,
I'm
well,
like,
I just
think
saw
all the
you.
cats in the neighborhood have a thing. Are you tired of living on the streets? Yeah. Well, there's a rescue, that apartment over there. Hit that button. But once you go in there, they're gonna take your journals, man. But if you're tired of living the street life,
Just hit that ring button right there.
hit that ring button.
So we have a no vacancy sign outside now. Sorry, kitties.
Yeah.
Wow, folks, that was
So
amazing.
that's how the Squanchy
That's
came about.
Squanchy.
And now she's the biggest brat. Like she acts like she wasn't born in a box.
I know. She's actually a 4th of July baby. Because when we took her to the vet told us, like, oh, yeah, she must have been born like a week ago. And it was like a week ago was 4th of July.
Oh, and she's also a black kitty, and a lot of times the black kittens are abandoned more often than the other colored cats.
What?
Sad, yeah.
What?
They even have that posted on, when you go to the animal shelter. Like, oh, drop the black kitty. They're abandoned
like-
more often and given up to the shelters because bad luck and all these superstitions.
I've had like a couple of black kitties.
I know.
Crazy
And
humans.
also for the Gen Zers, they're not photogenic enough.
I
Which
did
is
hear
really
that.
fucking
What?
annoying.
I don't want to hear that. That's sad.
What do you mean
That's
they're not
sad.
Get a
photo?
better camera.
Yeah.
Get some lighting.
Black cats, because you can't take bomb ass pictures with them.
My first cat was a black cat.
Yeah.
The first cat that I remember owning, and like his name was Gorgo, and he's a black kitty.
I like
So,
black kitties.
yeah,
We have
I
two
like
black
black
kitties.
kitties.
We've had 3 panthers, 2 tabbies. Oh, now it's 3 tabbies and a white one. We have a gray and 1 calico. So we've had a little bit of the flavors of all of the colors.
Wow.
Except a tortie. I'm waiting for a tortoise shell.
All right. Well,
Wow.
No, I'm not.
I want to say what I gathered
We
from all
need to
this,
cap this off.
and tell me, please.
I tell him if he doesn't want any more cats, wrap it up.
Oh,
Wrap it up.
Wow.
stop having your ring door.
Not having a ring door.
Disconnect that ring door.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How you were saying to wrap this up.
What I'm gathering was like spay and neuter your pet. If you're gonna have an animal or bring an animal in, whether it be a cat, bird, dog, turtle, snake, whatever, you're gonna have to be responsible
Do the
financially.
research.
Do the
Do
research.
the research. So Google it. Google what you need to do, or go to your local library if you are old school. If you're that old school, please go to the library. Go to your animal
internet.
shelter where you can. Well, if you are, for those people that don't have internet,
Yeah,
you-
go to the
you
library.
Go to the library and use the.
go to the
computer.
local animal shelter and give them and honestly, like, that's kind of what I used to do is hand out pamphlets of resources of where you can get all the information that you needed, because when I worked there, it was when the internet wasn't so big, so we had to give out pamphlets and flyers and stuff. So
I do want to make sure people understand that there are rescue groups out there, because there are. But guess what? They're packed themselves. They have already so much on their own plate that if you decide to rescue, you got to take this on yourself.
So be willing to be the change needed, even if it's just a little bit, with just one kitten,
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything helps. I would, everything helps. It's not
Really
bad.
does.
Oh, well, thank you so guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being
was fun.
that little
Thanks for the
change
invite.
that is needed, because Hollywood is a big place and you guys are doing just your little tiny bit, but it means a lot, and it means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the cats that you help save and provide a future for. And so I kind of wanted, I'm so thankful to you guys for doing that, and so I just kind of wanted to share you guys with.
Thank you. Thank you for
Everyone.
having us. I think Jose should reiterate those two places he was talking about.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes.
sent you the link on this chat here on
Yeah,
the Zoom
I see
meeting
that
for
link.
the
Yeah.
citywide cat program. But yeah, just you gotta sign up through Angelino, create an Angelino account, and then that'll take you to the citywide cat program website, and then just fill out the paperwork. But as I said, it takes some coordination. You have to book the appointment first because they're 3 months in advance, and then get the vouchers a week before your appointment comes up.
Right.
That's kind of the most important part.
But for anybody trying to do this, and wherever you're listening to us in whatever city you're in, I mean, the resources available, just look out for them. It's as easy as Googling it and make a change like these folks. It's a wonderful thing. You know, every bit helps, and you're going to make the world a better place. And that's what we all want to do, you know, doing our thing.
Definitely.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And
Yeah, this is another episode of Whahahappen, and this is what happened when you end up with
kitties.
a litter of kittens in your doorstep.
So, many thanks to Mari and Jose. And wow.
Ciao. Please don't forget to hit that like button, follow us, and rate and review us wherever you listen to our podcast. This truly helps us to expand our audience.
Also, if you would like us to read your story, may it be funny, scary,
Or just some hot chisme, please send us an email through our website, whahahappen.com, which is also a great way to find links to all of our social media and to read our bios.